Well, the older I get, I realize the importance of being healthy and fit. It's overall non negotiable. You should be getting into the best physique of your life. And I have built a physique in the late 20s, which I never could have imagined. In my early 20s, in my mid 20s, and now, I mean, the mid 20s was the worst. My early 20s was struggling, but like, in fact, I was fit. But then my mid 20s were very bad, and now that I'll be entering my 30s in the next year, I have in the fittest and the most aesthetic self of overall. To be very honest, I feel great inside, I feel best on the outside as well. So how did I actually do that, and what steps did I take? Maybe I was a bit late to understand the algorithm of just being fit, and not just physically but also mentally. So maybe you can save some of your years by not doing what I did, and maybe improvise on, does not matter like if you are in your 30s, 20s, or in your, maybe you're in your teens. This video can help each and every one of you. So I've just written few points, and because it's easier to, like, rather than just talking, it's better that I've just point down all the things that I felt and like a pointer, and I will try to make it as, I'll try to be as, easy and understandable as possible. So first of all, like, understanding the physiology of your 30s. Once you enter 30s, your life, like, I'm to be very honest, I was very scared of turning 30. Like 2 years back when I was 27, 26, I hated the idea that I'm getting older, but now I cannot wait to enter my 30s. I'm just so prepared mentally, physically. I've never felt this good in both ways. Like, it makes you uh, it makes you wiser, it makes you smart. The idea of acceptance that you cannot, it's inevitable, you cannot avoid the fact that you are getting older, and it's better to make peace with it rather than fighting. And it's like swimming against the stream. It's better you swim with the stream, and uh, let the nature do its course, and all you can do is use the things that you have with yourself. And till the time you're alive, you make best of the things that you have. So your meta so sorry, I was saying, understanding your 30s physiology. It's your metabolism really slows down, and you are not as like, biologically you are not that fit the way you were supposed to be in your 20s, like early 20s or in your teens. So you cannot get away with anything. You have to make sure that your things, I mean, whatever you're eating, whatever you're doing, and your recovery also adds on to it. Like, since I mentioned your metabolism really slows down, that does not mean that you cannot work out. That does not mean you don't have time. It's just that instead of working harder, you have to work more smarter. You have to take more smarter route. You have to take more smarter approach to building your physique, rather than just pushing weights and, I mean, you're just lifting weights and eating however and whenever you want. So it's more like a smarter approach that you have to take when you are in your 30s. Point number one, being strength training. You cannot bypass strength training. You have to either way incorporate some level of cardio and strength training in your everyday. Like, even if you're taking rest days, there has to be an active rest day. Workout or strength training being at least 3 to 4 times a week. For me, I function better when I work out every day. I try to keep my workout very short, like 45 minutes to 1 hour. And yeah, so that way I get to work out every single day. It also helps me in the profession that I am in to physically also looking good. So I try to work out every single day. I try not to skip it, and it just helps me think more clearly and feel better about myself. But for you, you can do twice, or I mean 2 or 4 times a week. You also have to think in a way that strength building is a gradual process. You cannot be doing, like, cannot be pushing all the weights, going to extreme, and then imagining the very next day that you will be fitter, or you will be, you'll have all the strength. It does not work like that. So do all the exercises that feel natural to you. It could be your deadlift, bench, or squats. Or for me, what works best and what I feel natural is all the machines. Like I feel whenever there is a machine there, I cannot go wrong. I cannot afford to injure myself. So that way I choose machines over your compound lifts. If you are somebody who feels compound lifting has more ROI, to be very honest, if you are doing squats, you tend to engage a lot of other body parts of yours, like your core, your, I mean, the most of your legs is being used in squats. So that way it has definitely more benefits. But I feel for me, which works or which naturally works for me is machines. I feel there is no way I can go wrong while doing bench press or squat. I might injure myself in some way or the other, which I have faced in my early 20s when I tried to deadlift heavy and stuff. I have injured my lower back. So that way it has always been in my head. So I try to use machines over all the compound. But you can pick whatever you feel best. Number two, being prioritize recovery. Sleep as if it's your job for 7 to 9 hours at least. Recovery is where you actually feel the growth. You damage your muscle in the gym, but then for you to build that extra tissue over to your muscle or whatever damage you have done, you need recovery. Please prioritize it. And sleep, I also take few supplements like magnesium, zinc for better sleep. If you are if you're getting tired throughout the day, you'll definitely sleep like a baby. You can try supplementing it. If not, I mean, if you can sleep naturally, then I have had a very bad relationship with sleep growing up. I used to work in call center when I was in my teens, so it kind of screwed up my sleep cycle in some way. I used to dial US, so mostly all I was like night owl. So that ended up like it just engraved in my system so badly that I couldn't get out of it. So now I'm trying to build this habit of sleeping early and waking up early. So that just helps my natural circadian rhythm. So it's better to go how the biology takes you rather than the same thing. Don't swim against the current. Go with the flow. Swim with it. You cannot you cannot you cannot fight with the nature. So as much as you can incorporate what naturally, like as a bird, it's better you fly rather than crawling, right? You cannot judge somebody by its ability, what it's actually born for. I mean, a fish will always, if fish does not swim, if he imagines like, why, how can this bird fly, and it goes against its natural process, then it I mean, the fish will always, and like fish will die thinking that fish is dumb, right? But you have to see what naturally works for your body and mind and go with it, not against it. So that being your recovery, the point number three is eat like a grown up. Like I mentioned, you are not in your 20s, you are not in your teens that you can get away with anything Friday night, getting wasted, and next morning you feel fresh and you don't have hangover and shit like that. That does not work. So now that you are entering your 30s or you are already in your 30s, you have to make sure that what you are eating, not that I'm saying it's wrong to party or to drink or anything. I do it occasionally, but I make sure that I am in control, not the drink controlling me. So it's completely your choice, your life, YOLO. You get this life once. You can live however you want to live. But if you're clicking to this video, maybe the chances are you really want to be fit and you really want to prioritize just being healthy. So being in 30s, you cannot just get away with anything. So make sure whatever you're eating, however you're eating, is something that you know what you're putting inside your body. So that is very important. Point number four, build a system. Do not rely on motivation. Trust me, this is coming from, I started working when I was 17 and it's been almost 12 years. I've been working and doing things, and more I rely on motivation, the chances are I either do it for just couple of days or a week, or I just don't end up doing it. So it's better you build a system that you have a scheduled time when you go and work out. It should feel like a habit. It should feel like you're breathing, you're eating. It cannot be like today I'm motivated, I'm going to go and lift weight, and tomorrow again, it's, I mean, you do skip it because tomorrow you don't have motivation, right? So it's better to build a system around it. You schedule it like a meeting, or however, just like sleep, your workout should be scheduled. You know when you're doing that. And like small wins at the gym really help, like maybe pushing a little bit of weights, hitting your progressive overload really adds on to your muscle building process, and also keeps you, it keeps you motivated in some way to go to the gym again. Or today, just like I did chest and tricep, I did progress today, and I cannot wait like like my chest day comes after 4 days. So I have a 4-day split. I do chest tricep, then I do back bicep, then I do shoulders. I've been prioritizing my shoulders because shoulder health is important for me. Like I do a lot of stretching kind of movement. Like suppose if you're pressing a weight, I just don't press the weight. I make sure that I have enough stretch so that I get like enough mobility in my body, because I see myself working out when I'm 40, 50, 60-year old. I don't want to injure myself in some way. So maybe hypotrophically it's not the right way, but for me it's more therapeutic. I do it because I get that good stretch and then I push. Maybe I'm lifting less than how much I used to lift, but it feels better to my body, and do what actually feels good rather than, and I'm even more sore, to be very honest. Earlier I was feeling less soreness when I was just pumping weight, doing 300 kilos, doing 100 kilos. It doesn't make sense. You're just fatiguing yourself and not recovering in time. It's rather to you know uh, like let your ego settle and lift less weight, but with full momentum. Like you're going, like you're stretching properly, and you're pushing it. It makes more sense, at least to me. Also, I feel this point is, start calculating. uh, Math is the language that God speaks. So this I mean, I heard this line when I was 18, 17, 18. I was reading physics, and this is the actual, I feel, if something is not being calculated or measured, it is not driving results. So you have to calculate it, you have to measure it to progress. Same, if you are not progressing at the gym, you're not calculating what you, suppose if you're hitting like 10 kgs for 12 reps today, tomorrow you have to make sure that you at least do 13 reps with the same weight, and slowly and steadily you either increase the weight or you increase the reps. That's how you progress. Same with food. If you're eating 2000 calories, you have to make sure that the calories are divided from protein, carbohydrates, fibers, your fats, everything. You cannot be like, I'm eating 2000 calories and entire 2000 calories coming from fat. Or maybe you just have to do the math right. If you just do the math right, you will build the physique. I built this physique in last 6 to 8 months, and just by knowing what I'm putting inside my mouth. Your mouth is one of the most important element when it comes to anything that you do in the physical world. Building a physique, what you put inside, what you eat, is 90% of the food and 10% of the workout that you're doing. Same with life. What you talk and how you talk makes everything that you have in your life. And I feel, just by being a good person, a well spoken person, and an empathetic person, you attract so much in life, which is that just compounds. It's weird. I don't know, but you have to control this part. I feel last point is, I want to tell you a story, and also want to, the summary would be like, don't do anything to impress anyone. I get it, like when you're a teenager or whenever you are in your early 20s, you're doing things mostly to impress. You're hitting the gym to look good, to get that girl or to get that guy or whatever, whoever you're interested in. So majorly the idea becomes of you impressing somebody. Once you let go of that, your life, the lens changes. It's like, everything remains the same. It's just the lens that you're looking things from changes. Just the shift, small shift of your perspective. So I'll tell you the story. I went around 5 6 years back. I went to the show. It was Mintra Fashion Superstar. It was telecasted on, I don't know which channel or something. Can't really remember that, but I was in that show. And trust me, it took me years to get out of that. I won't say trauma, but well, kind of. It made me so much insecure of who I was. I went there with a good motive of just like I was just a budding creator. I saw that I might get famous by doing that show. I was into fashion, so the show was about fashion, and I thought it might help us in some way. But it ended up doing the opposite. Before that show, I was fit enough, decent looking, knew my thing a little bit because uh, before that I was doing what I was doing. But after the show, when I entered the show, I somehow it just I got out of the show in I guess in the second episode or something. I had a lot of issues in the show. People, I did not like their idea of creativity or fashion that they had to offer. And it made me question myself because it made me feel like I was a failure. Maybe I was not good enough. I started comparing myself with everyone that was there in the show, outside the show. I was like, I got so much into this thing of comparison that comparison is the enemy of joy. That's how they say it, I guess. But yeah, that is so true. I started stress eating because I did not look good in the show. I mean, look good in a way like uh, I did not perform well in the show according to whatever the feedback was. According to everyone, I was not a good contestant, and it just fucked with my head. uh, Even after the show was live, I started like stress eating. I was like, when it will go live, when it will go air, I'll be screwed. I won't be getting anything because I knew what happened in the show. Right when the show went live, I was kind of constantly thinking what people must be thinking about me, that I'm not good enough. Like I had this idea of like Shravan is creative, Shravan is interesting, Shravan has fashion sense and all of that. But in the show, it just turned out to be opposite. And I kept questioning myself, why did I do it, and where what went wrong, and like for like good, like I remember for good like 4 5 years, I was stuck in that loop of just questioning myself and just stress eating. I became fat. I just kept on putting weight because there was no other way to get out of it. So I feel uh, the moment I got out of the idea of comparison and doing things just for the sake of doing it, and because I like it and I want to do it, the entire shift happened. And it's not like, and after that, I just started to rebuild myself again. I guess I was 26 or 27 when I started working out again, and I felt like I have to, like, get back to what I was. Cannot be like this, cannot just be in that zone of I was scared to meet people. I thought this person might come up to me and say like, dude, I thought you would be this. But of course nobody has time to think about you. It's just that you are thinking so much about yourself that you think everyone else is thinking about you, which is not true, of course. So that way, it took me some time, but I gained back. I took in 20, I mean, first year of lifting, I was just lifting. I was insecure. I hated going to the gym because I felt, you know, I lost a little weight, but I lost so much that I ended up becoming skinnier. When I was fat, I started lifting when I was fat. Then I got skinnier. Then I felt even bad about myself that I feel weak. I felt weak and stuff. Then the slow progress started to happen. I started calculating my calories. I started lifting weight. I started progressing, and then this physique, I was able to build. So it is all with the help of a good mindset, great food, like good calculating your food, what you're eating, progressing at the gym, and just feeling good about yourself. I just don't want to enter my 30s, which is like next year. I don't want to enter with, the same mindset that I had in my 20s. So definitely getting more smarter, more wiser, and more jacked. I just want to die with abs. I guess I heard this line from somebody, I don't know. But yeah, I definitely want to be fit and see more long term goals.